Peace, guys. How's everybody doing this evening? It's July 1st, post-market hours, and we're going to go over a quick little recap of the day's trading action, and we're going to take a look at some setups as well. Let's get right into it here. Not much happened today in the markets. SPY QQQ. QQQ had a little bit of a pullback today off that 550. Definitely a red candle with noticeable volume on that candle. SPY, not so much. SPY, relatively unchanged. Looks like we closed right about where we closed yesterday. So we're just kind of hovering, on that 615, 617. It's nothing wrong with that. We could probably use a little pullback here and build off these last 4 or 5 green candles that we had there. So SPY QQQ, just looking good, but definitely could use a little pullback, a little consolidation. SMCI has been firmly on the watch. It provided a little bit of an opportunity today to kind of find an entry in it on a swing trade here. We like the consolidation. We really like the long-term shaping up here of consistent higher lows. And then this channel right here was noteworthy. That channel, very tight. Tighter range than we're used to seeing in a name like this. And in the past, when we saw tight range, something like here. When we saw tight range, something like here. When we saw tight range, something like here, usually resulted in a move right after we broke free. So I think SMCI is looking really good, guys. Broad market stays consistent. SPY QQQ don't pull back heavy here. I think we've got upside on SMCI. Levels are pretty clearly defined there, 55 and 65. Keep an eye on that retest of that $45 range right there. See if buyers start to step in. But yeah, SMCI, like the looks there. Large semiconductor name. Moving right along here into RGTI. We had an inside candle today. I'm going to do the best I can to zoom this chart in for you guys, because I know the video doesn't do the best with the zoom feature there. We had an inside day. What does that mean? Well, today's trading is inside the range of the trading from the prior day. We love to see these when the volume's about halfway where it was the day before. It's exactly what we got here on RGTI. I'm looking at this channel right here. Okay, looking for something above that to pick up a little bit of speed here and see some buying volume so we can come up here to this 13, 14 range. Tomorrow, my position is geared towards capitalizing on this. If we can gap up above this $12 and just find some buying volume, find some demand for this, I see the potential for a move up to 13 and a half. So I've got skin in the game in RGTI. I like the way it's formed these higher lows, and it's kind of starting to stair step back in to this $12 break. RGTI moving right along here. SLDP. Okay, another one we've been highlighting here for the last week. And we've been doing so because of the cup, the trough pattern you see here in SLDP. You have to take note of these, guys. A lot of people, institutions, retail traders, they're taking note of this setup, and it shows here with the volume. It's quite impressive. It's starting to become more consistent than back here in this late 2024 run. I've got my levels mapped out here on the chart, $2.05 and then $2.35. From what we've seen, those are the lines in the sand, and it's going to take something significant to push past that 235, and for us to see swing highs on SLDP, for us to see something in that 350 range. It's definitely doable, given the nature of the short float on this name and the volume that we're seeing and the pattern. It's definitely doable. I just, I'm easing my way into this position. My buys have been pretty consistent with those lines in the sand you see right there, trying to strategically get in this thing. But I'm expecting this right here. And I'm not mad at all if we get consolidation within these blue lines. If we get that pullback, right? That handle that these patterns like to form. I'll draw out kind of what I'm envisioning here. Oh, I mean, come on. If we saw something like this, that gives people a great opportunity. That's one scenario I can envision. Another would be, this is probably less likely, something kind of like this. Maybe a high and tight formation. Something like that in SODP. That's what we're eyeing for. Some tight range. This volume just continue staying solid or maybe contract a little bit. But yeah, SLDP, when we go zoom out on the chart, we'll hit the 3 years on the chart. You guys will see how, significant this level is. And then we've got range up above, up into the 325. So SLDP, it's noteworthy. It fits the theme. Good short interest on it, good volume. It's firmly on watch for me, with the expectation of not rushing into this. I'm not playing the options. I'm not in the contracts here. I'm simply looking at shares. I'm looking at getting a good dollar cost average and respecting my risk. First and foremost, respecting my risk on something like SLDP. Next up is AISP, Airship AI. This is a microcap technology sector. And we look at the long-term trend line going way back. I can draw that blue line. And we got a lot of touches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches. And now we broke through and we're coming back to test it. And I'm going to zoom in because I know that doesn't show you guys hardly anything. But just picture a long-term trend line. Right here. Okay, lots of tests. This line goes way back. It goes way back. And since we've been trading above it, volume's been good. Volume's been good. Okay. Another name with decent short interest. These two red candles up here, the last 2 out of the 3 days, have been these big red engulfing candles. Not a pretty look by any means. So it hasn't triggered anything for me to buy into yet. But there is some wicks at the bottom of these candles. Tells me that there's some interest up here. I just need to see a little bit more. I need to see some more consolidation, some more stair stepping up, and something like AISP to gain a head of steam before it blows through that $6 up into the 7s and 8s. Respect your risk. keep that line in the sand there, that previous resistance line. Is it going to turn support? I don't know. But I like the risk reward if it does. SOUN. SoundHound AI. Another tightly contracted chart. Another chart with breakout potential, especially considering the volume and the type of steam that a chart like this can come with. I like the way the moving averages held, today's lows. They really did prop us up today, and we put in one of those. We really put in one of those, those hammer candles, the doji, with the high finish, the big long wick, and then the high finish with the head there. It tells me that buying was strong today. Not strong enough to close us where we closed yesterday. So that's not the greatest sign. But I like the way these moving averages held. Just have to see if they continue to do so for the days going forward. But SOUN, I like the shape here. I like the consistent higher lows in this 3-month span. I like the contraction here. Something kind of like this, kind of like this. And I like the volume. So it's firmly on watch. If it starts to get even tighter, it could definitely contract within the last 2 days range. And that'd be A+ scenario. But until then, respect your risk on something like SOUN. And keep your targets in mind here. High of day yesterday, and then high of the swing high. Those are your levels. Respect your risk, and stay safe out there, guys. That's all I've got today for July 1st watch list. If you take nothing from this, always respect your risk, live to fight another day, and go into the charts with a plan. We got to have something mapped out before we get into this type of stuff, right? Make yourself a little playbook, stick to it, and that's how we stay profitable out there, guys. But that's it. Peace. Everybody have a good evening, and we'll talk tomorrow.